Okay, welcome everyone. I am so excited for tonight's episode, which is going to be the last in the series that we have been talking about in the last couple of weeks. And that is why are so many people sick today. Hi, hello everyone. Welcome back. This is Primrose Wellness. I am Dr. Olubumi Balaji, and tonight we are closing this series powerfully. So please don't be in a hurry. It's going to take some time. So get yourself a drink and sit right. Now, why are so many people sick today? So we're going to be having one of the most powerful conversations. It's a lot of information just to close this chapter. And the goal is how to build a lifestyle that prevents diseases long term. Okay? We're not talking about a diet. We're not talking about a 30 days um, weight loss challenge. I'm not talking about lose weight in 30 days because these things are not sustainable. All right. I am talking about the things that we can do consistently and that can help us to live our best life now from today and for long term. Things you can start doing today. I'm not talking about something that you start today and by Monday you're already tired and you're like, I'm done. I'm talking about real life, sustainable way of living that helps to protect your body from chronic diseases that are affecting so many people today. We are talking about things like high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, fatty liver disease, which ends up some people ends up with liver cirrhosis, obesity, heart disease, strokes, sleep apnea, chronic inflammation. So these are so many things that are prevalent today, and the truth is many of these conditions they do not appear overnight, right? They build quietly. They build while we're sleeping or while we're not paying attention. They build while the blood pressure is slowly rising. They build while our waistline is slowly expanding. These conditions build while sleep is getting shorter and shorter every day. They build while movement disappears from daily life. They build while stress becomes a normal part of our lives. These conditions build while people keep saying, I'm fine, even though the body is sending warning signals. And so tonight, I want to say this very, very clearly. Disease prevention does not start in the emergency room. Disease prevention starts in your daily routine. Now, I know some of you are thinking, Dr. Balaji, you don't understand. I have tried this before. Some of you are saying, I know what to do. My problem is I cannot stay consistent. Some of you are thinking, I lose weight and I gain it back. Some are saying to themselves, I start strong, then life happens to me. Someone's story is, I feel like I failed too many times. If this is your story, this message is especially for you. because I want you to understand something. The problem is not lack of willpower. The problem is not always lack of willpower. Many times, the problem is that nobody taught you how to build habits in a way your real life can sustain. And so, by the end of tonight's teaching, I want you to have a very practical roadmap that you can follow. We are talking about simple steps, clinical steps, realistic steps, steps you can begin this week. So let's get into it. We have a lot to cover. So first we're going to talk about why lifestyle is clinical medicine. Why we consider our lifestyle, how we live it as clinical medicine, right? When people hear the word lifestyle, they sometimes think it sounds really soft. Lifestyle. It's so simple, right? They think it means motivation. They think it means someone telling them that eat better and exercise. But lifestyle is not soft. Lifestyle is clinical. Lifestyle affects your blood pressure. Lifestyle affects your blood sugar. Lifestyle affects your insulin sensitivity, which is the driver of many of those things that we see today. Lifestyle affects your triglyceride level, which is a type of cholesterol. We've talked about this on this channel. It affects your overall cholesterol. Lifestyle affects your liver. It affects your kidneys. Lifestyle affects your sleep. Lifestyle affects your hormones. Lifestyle affects your inflammation, which causes chronic pain. Lifestyle affects your risk of heart disease and stroke. This is why prevention is not just an inspirational topic, prevention is medicine. The American Heart Association created a framework that is called Life's Essential Eight, which includes eating better, being more active, quitting tobacco, getting a healthy sleep, managing weight, controlling cholesterol, managing blood sugar, and managing blood pressure. This is the framework for long term cardiovascular health, not just a wellness advice. And globally, the WHO reports that non communicable diseases, which includes heart disease, strokes, cancer, diabetes, and chronic lung diseases, accounts for a whopping 74% of death worldwide. So, no matter your location. So, the WHO also notes that unhealthy diet and physical inactivity can show up in the body as raised blood pressure, raised blood sugar, and abnormal lipid panel and obesity. And so, when we talk about lifestyle, we're not talking about vanity. We are talking about survival. We are talking about function. We are talking about quality of life. We're talking about whether you will be able to travel, walk, think clearly, enjoy your retirement, serve your family, and live with strength. Now, I am a physician, as you all know. I prescribe medications. Yes, I do. Medications has its place. Medications save lives. Blood pressure medications can prevent stroke. Diabetes medications can protect our organs. Cholesterol medications can reduce your cardiovascular risk. So, this is not an anti medication message. But here's the point: medications can manage diseases, right? But lifestyle helps address the environment that allowed the disease to develop. And so, if I prescribe blood pressure medication, I may help bring the number down. But if the patient is still eating excessive sodium, which is salt, not sleeping enough, under chronic stress, gaining visceral fat, which is fat around your major organs, and not moving enough, we have not addressed the full picture. So, if I prescribe diabetes medication, I may improve the glucose, but if the patient continues to eat in a way that worsens insulin resistance, never build muscles, sleep about 5 hours a night, does not manage stress, we are still chasing the disease. So, lifestyle medicine is not alternative medicine. Lifestyle medicine is evidence based medicine. It is the clinical use of nutrition, movement, sleep, stress management, social connection, and behavioral change to prevent, to treat, and sometimes even improve chronic um, diseases. And this is important. Lifestyle is not about perfection, it is about patterns, because your body does not respond to what you do once in a while. Your body responds to what you repeatedly do. And so let's look at the evidence. Lifestyle can change disease risk. How, you would say? Now, one of the most powerful studies in prevention is the Diabetes Prevention Program. And this study followed people at high risk for type 2 diabetes. And one group received lifestyle intervention, one group received metformin, which is the one of the first line medications that we use to treat diabetes, and one group received placebo, what some people call as an ordinary pill, a sugar pill, you could say, quote unquote. But anyway, the lifestyle group focused on healthier eating habits, physical activity, and weight reduction, and the results were powerful. The lifestyle intervention group, they reduced the incidence of type 2 diabetes by a whooping 58%, compared with 31% with just taking the metformin, which is a diabetic medication. And this was not just by motivating them. This was a major study, a major clinical study. And the lifestyle group performed extremely well. And this tells us something important. And I'm going to share a recent case that happened this week with you, a patient of mine. He came for his yearly annual physical in December. and we diagnosed him with type 2 diabetes. His hemoglobin A1C had gone up to 6.7. Meanwhile, in the last 1 year, his blood tests had been showing that he was in the pre-diabetic uh, range, and I kept talking to him about lifestyle changes, the things that he needed to do, but he never took it seriously. And so when his hemoglobin A1C was 6.7 in December, I said to him, this is the time to start you on the medication. And at that point, he decided, he was like, Dr. Balaji, can you please give me 3 months? Let me go and work on that lifestyle intervention that you have been telling me about that I never took seriously. And I honestly saw him last week. I was blown away. He had lost 27 pounds. And when we did his blood work, his hemoglobin A1C had gone from 6.7, which was in the diabetic range, to 5.5, which was now a normal a normal hemoglobin A1C, taking him out of the diabetic range. And I was so proud of him, so super proud. So when lifestyle is structured, supported, and consistent, it can change disease risk. Another important study is the Predimed trial, which showed that Mediterranean style eating pattern supplemented with extra virgin olive oil or nuts lowered major cardiovascular risk in people at high cardiovascular risk. Now, this does not mean everyone has to eat exactly like they live in the Mediterranean. The principle is what really matters. And what are we talking about? More whole foods, more vegetables, more legumes, more nuts and seeds when appropriate, more healthy fats like your avocados, your fatty fish, or your lean protein, less ultra processed foods that is everywhere today, less refined sugars, which is in almost everything we eat today, less eating without intention, just consuming calories without nutrient. Now, a 2020 uh, BMJ study also found that people who followed a more healthy lifestyle lived more years free of major chronic diseases, including diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, and cancer. And this is a British research. So the research is clear. Lifestyle is not just about losing weight. Lifestyle is about changing risk. It is about helping your body function better. It is about adding years, not just more years, but healthier years. Healthier years to your life. Because nobody wants to simply live long. If those extra years are full of preventable suffering, then we want to choose that route. We want health span. We want strength. We want independence. We want clear thinking. The dementia now is termed type 3 diabetes. We want mobility. We want peace. And this is the goal. So, what are the small habits that compound over time? Let's talk about them. Those small habits. Many people underestimate small habits because they look too simple. We're constantly looking for like difficult things. A 10-minute walk after dinner looks too simple. Adding protein to breakfast looks too simple, right? Going to bed 30 minutes earlier than you're doing right now so you can get that 7 hours looks too simple. Replacing soda with water looks too simple. Standing up every 1 hour to move around looks too simple for those of us who work from home and we are sitting at the desk for long hours. Checking your blood pressure at home looks too simple. But small habits are powerful because they are repeated signals to the body. And so your body is always adapting. If you repeatedly sit all day, sleep poorly, eat ultra processed food because you don't have time to cook, live under constant stress, and never recover, your body adapts in one direction. But if you repeatedly you move, you nourish, you hydrate, you sleep better, you build muscle, you manage stress, your body adapts in another direction. And this is the compound effect of health. Just like money can compound over time, habits also can compound over time. And so, one walk may not transform your cardiovascular health, but walking most days of the month and years can improve blood pressure, insulin sensitivity, mood, endurance, and weight maintenance. So, one healthy meal may not reverse metabolic disease, but a pattern of high protein diet, good amount of fibers, vegetables, and less processed foods can improve glucose control, satiety, cholesterol, and inflammation over time. One night of good sleep may not fix everything, but consistent good sleep helps regulate appetite, blood pressure, stress, hormones, immune function, and decision making. So the question is not what can I do perfectly? The better question is what can I repeat? Because repeatable habits become protective habits. Repeatable habits become protective habits. Now, let me give you four daily habits that gives a very high return for long-term health. Number one, habit one, daily movement. The first habit is movement, not punishment, not extreme exercises like some of us who we do, just movement. The body was designed to move and not to sit in one location for hours on end. But many people today sit for most of the day. They sit in the car, they sit at work, they sit to eat, they sit to watch television, they sit on the phone. And so prolonged sedentary time is associated with a higher risk of diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, cancer, which can all lead to hospitalization and all cause mortality. And so movement is not just about burning calories. Movement is about metabolism. Movement helps the muscles to use glucose. Movement supports blood pressure. Movement improves blood circulation. Movement improves our mood. It helps to release those, feel good hormones. Movement support sleep. Movement helps preserve independence as we age. The CDC recommends that adults get at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity physical activity per week, plus 2 days at least of muscle strength training activity. And this can be broken down into about 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. But if you're currently doing nothing, do not start by overwhelming yourself. Start easy with 10 minutes. Walk after dinner, walk after lunch, walk while you are on the phone. Park your car far away from where you're going to and walk instead of parking closest to the entrance. Take the stairs whenever you can. Stand up every hour and move. A 2022 review found that walking after meals can improve what you call the post meal glucose response. And that matters especially for people with insulin resistance, prediabetes, diabetes, or post meal fatigue, which also accompanies metabolic syndrome, which of course accompanies insulin resistance. So please do not ignore strength training, which is extremely important. A 2022 systematic review and a meta analysis in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that muscle strength training activities were associated with a 10 to 17% lower risk of all cause mortality, cardiovascular diseases, cancer, diabetes, and lung cancer. And this is why muscle matters. Muscle is not just about appearance, muscle is metabolic protection. And so the practical step is really simple: walk most days, break up the sitting habits, get up and move, strength train at least twice a week. This you can do in the comfort of your own homes. Buy weights, buy bands. Start small, but start. Habit number two: sleep. And this is a non negotiable recovery. Sleep is the second habit that I want you to focus on. And I want to say this really strongly. You cannot build long term health while constantly robbing your body of recovery. There's no way that can happen. So, sleep is not laziness, sleep is repair. Sleep affects appetite, sleep affects insulin sensitivity, sleep affects blood pressure. Sleep affects inflammation. Sleep affects mood. Sleep affects your immune function. Sleep affects our decision making capabilities. The CDC recommends that an adult get at least 7 hours of sleep per night. And insufficient sleep is associated with higher risk of obesity, diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, stroke, anxiety, and depression. So, sleep is not optional. Sleep is part of the treatment plan. Now, some people are not sleeping because of some habits that they picked up along the way. Consuming caffeine too late in the day, Screens too late, we're constantly on our devices. Heavy meals close to bedtime. Alcohol consumption. Walking in bed. Absolutely no bedtime routine. Stress. But some people are not sleeping because of an actual medical condition. And one of the most common is obstructive sleep apnea. We mentioned this before in one of our previous videos. If you snore loudly, you wake up choking in the middle of the night or gasping for air. You wake up in the morning feeling tired, like you didn't even sleep, or you have morning headaches, daytime sleepiness, you are obese, or you have high blood pressure that is difficult to control, please speak with your clinician. They can order a simple sleep study for you. Do not normalize poor sleep. Do not normalize snoring. It is not normal. Do not normalize waking up exhausted. You should feel refreshed after an overnight sleep. Your practical sleep prescription this week is very simple. First, I want you to choose a consistent bedtime. Stop eating 2 to 3 hours before bedtime whenever possible. Put away 30 minutes to 60 minutes before bedtime all your screens, your iPad, your laptops, your phones. Keep the room cool and dark. And if you have symptoms of sleep apnea, please get evaluated. That is prevention. Habit number 3, nutrition with structure and not punishment. Okay? The third habit that I want us to focus on is nutrition. But I do not want you to think of nutrition as punishment. And that is why I usually don't like to use the word diet with my patients. I do not want you to think I cannot enjoy food again. Because food is meant to be enjoyed, right? Because if food is not enjoyable, then this is not sustainable. Instead, I want you to think of food as information. Every meal sends a signal to your body. Some meals will spike blood sugar and leave you even more hungry, or leave you hungry, feeling hungry more quicker. Some meals will stabilize blood sugar and keep you full. Some meals, they increase inflammation. Some meals, they support healing. And some meals promote weight gain. Some meals support muscle, metabolism, and energy. The CDC again notes that healthy eating can help prevent, delay, and manage chronic diseases such as heart disease and type 2 diabetes. And so, a healthy eating pattern, which includes your fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean protein, and limiting added sugars, saturated fats, and sodium, is better. So instead of starting with restriction, start with structure. And so, what does that look like? At most meals, ask, where is my protein? Where is my fiber? Where's my color in the food? It must be colorful, right? And so, protein helps with satiety and muscle preservation. Fiber helps with fullness, gut health, cholesterol, and glucose control. Color means vegetables, fruits, herbs, legumes, and whole foods that provide nutrients. So this does not have to be complicated. If you eat rice, like me, and you enjoy rice, but do not let the rice become the whole plate. It should only be a portion of what you're going to eat. And then you add your protein, you add your vegetables, you watch the portion because we talk about portion control. If you eat swallow and you enjoy it, you want to balance it. This is for my Nigerian audience. You want to increase the vegetable soup. You want to add your fish, your lean meats, or any other protein, and you want to control your portion. If you eat bread, do not let bread be the whole meal. Add eggs, avocados, vegetables, or any other protein source. Healthy eating must be culturally realistic. Okay? A nutrition plan that ignores your culture is not a good long-term plan. So when your doctor is saying I wanted to see a nutritionist, make sure it's somebody who understands your culture and what you eat. We do not need to abandon our food heritage. We need to bring wisdom, balance, and portion control to eat. Now, let me add this. One of the easiest ways to improve nutrition is to reduce ultra processed foods and sugary drinks, which has become part of our normal diet and is unhealthy. Not because you can never have anything sweet, but because frequent sugar and refined carbohydrates can worsen insulin resistance, predispose to insulin resistance, worsen cravings, fatty liver, your triglycerides, and of course, abdominal weight gain. So, this is your practical step. Build one structured meal each day. Start with breakfast if possible. Focus on your protein, your fiber, your water intake. That one meal can change your craving for the rest of the day. Now we're going to talk about the fourth habit, which is hydration and simple body signals. Okay? Hydration. The fourth habit is hydration. Hydration is often overlooked, and many people are tired, they're foggy, they suffer from constipation, they crave sugar, and they overeat when part of the problem is that they're not drinking enough water. And so the brain interprets that as hunger. Now, water needs vary. It varies by weight. Okay? If you have kidney disease, heart failure, or you're on a fluid restriction by your doctor, or you take certain medications, you want to follow your clinician's guidance. Okay? But for many other healthy adults, a simple place to start is this: drink water before coffee in the morning, drink water with your meals, replace one sugary drink with water, and then keep a water bottle visible. Or, like me, have one of this and take it everywhere you go. Check your urine color. All right. If it's not pale and it looks much darker, that means it's concentrated. It means you're dehydrated. It's not rocket science, right? Health is built on ordinary choices, simple things that we most often neglect. Okay, hydration should be super simple, and it goes a long way. Now, consistency is key, not perfection. Consistency is key. because this is one of the places where many people struggle. We want to be perfect. The health and wellness industry has made many people believe that if they cannot do everything perfectly, they might as well do nothing. And this is a lie. Okay? Perfection is not required for long term health, consistency is. So, the body actually responds to averages. Your average hours of sleep, the average amount of movement you're making per day or per week, per month, your average food choices, your average stress level, your average blood pressure, your average blood sugar. One imperfect meal does not ruin your whole health. One missed workout does not erase your progress. One stressful week does not mean you failed. The danger is when one day is the danger is when one off day becomes an off month and then becomes an off year. So the goal is not perfection. The goal is consistency. So if you miss a walk today, walk tomorrow. If you eat poorly at lunch today because hey, there was some free lunch at work, make dinner better. If you sleep badly the night before, try and make up the following night. If you get off track because, hey, you went on vacation, life goes on, right? Return back to your routine once you get back home. Health is not a destination you arrive at, health is a practice you return to. So, clinically, this matters because the most effective plan is not always the most intense plan. The most effective plan is the one you can actually continue. So, a person who works 20 minutes 5 days a week for 1 year will usually do better than someone who does extreme exercise for 2 weeks and then quits. A person who improves their breakfast, reduces sugary drinks, and walks after dinner may do better long term than someone who starts a plan so strict that they cannot sustain it. So instead of asking, what is the fastest plan? Ask, what is the healthiest plan I can repeat? And that's the question that can change everything. Let's talk about identity, mindset, and habits that stick. Because again, we're talking about long term health, right? Let's talk about the mindset. Lasting habits are not built on motivation. Motivation comes and goes, right? Some day we feel very motivated, other days we feel not that motivated, right? And so that's okay. So if your health depends only on motivation, your health will be unstable. What you need is identity and systems. And this is important because there is a difference between saying, I am trying to exercise, and saying, I am a person who moves my body daily. The difference is this: I am on a diet, or I am a person who nourishes my body. And there's a difference between the two. It's a mindset. Telling yourself you're on a diet or telling yourself you're nourishing your body and you're being intentional about what you eat. Very important. You know, there's a difference between I need to sleep more or I protect my sleep because my body needs recovery. Mindset, right? When we talk about identity, it matters because we tend to live in alignment with how we see ourselves, right? So we begin to speak differently, not arrogantly, not unrealistically, but intentionally. And so you want to say stuff like, I am becoming consistent, right? I am learning how to care for my body because this is what we're trying to do. I am building health one habit at a time. I am not quitting on myself. So we can build systems around all of this that helps us to make right choices, helps us to put walking shoes by the door. So when you come into the house, you see it, you know, it's time to get walking. Prep your meal ahead, prep your protein ahead so you don't end up eating junk. Keep water visible so that you constantly stay hydrated. Don't bother buying unhealthy snacks. Don't keep them in the house because when they're not in the house, you're not tempted to eat them. Schedule your workouts like your regular appointment so you know you keep up with it. Track your blood pressure. Book your follow up visits with your provider. Don't rely on willpower for everything. Design your environment to support the person you are becoming. This is extremely important. Now, I want to talk about one of the things that are going to be very important to you keeping up, and that is community and accountability. I have a patient who is actually a doctor, and whenever she's coming to me, she says, "Oh, I better get this done. I better get that done because Dr. Balaji is going to be on my case." And she's an older doctor, but she's a doctor, so we need community. All right, you were never meant to do this alone. Research in health behavior continues to show that social support is important for adherence, weight management, and lifestyle changes. And the CDC notes that social connection is associated with better health and may reduce risk for serious conditions, including heart disease, stroke, dementia, depression, and anxiety. This matters because your environment influences your behavior. So if everyone around you is eating poorly, they are sleeping poorly, they sit all day, and they're ignoring medical care, that becomes your normal. But if you're around people who walk all the time, they cook healthy, they rest, they pray, or they meditate, they go for their checkups, it encourages you to be disciplined, and that becomes your normal. So here are the three simple ways to build accountability. Number one, find one person, not 10, one person that can help you in your journey. One, someone you can text and say, I walked today. And who can say, like I told my patient last week, I am so proud of you for doing that. Someone who is vested in your health, someone who will check on you once a week. Number two, track visibly. All right. You can use your calendar. Mark the days that you're going to go to the gym on it or that you're going to practice, you're going to do your exercises at home. Use a habit tracker. All right. There are so many apps out there today that they're free. You don't have to pay a dime for it. Use a notebook. Put a check mark every day when you complete your habit. Seeing your progress abuse confidence. I saw a patient today. In 6 weeks, he lost 20 pounds. He was so excited. He was like, I could not wait to come and see you today, Dr. Balaji. Join a community. It may be this channel. It may be group walking. It may be a church wellness group. It may be a small group of friends, people who have similar interests as you do. It may be a physician supervised program, but do not isolate. When you are on your journey by yourself without a community, you run the risk of burning out and not being successful. So support really does matter. And so I want this Primrose Wellness community to be a place where we're not just talking about health, but we're building it together. Together. So for the person who has failed before, I want to talk to you briefly. I know I've taken our time tonight. I usually don't speak for this long, but this is the last episode in this series. I want to speak directly to the person who has failed before. Maybe you have lost weight and you're getting back. Maybe you started walking and stopped. I hear a lot of times, oh, the weather's so cold, I can't walk. You can walk inside your home, inside your apartment, create a path and walk inside your apartment. Maybe you joined the gym and you stopped going. Maybe you bought supplements, meal containers, workout clothes, and you still fell off. Maybe you feel embarrassed. Maybe you feel tired all the time and you're like, I'm too tired, I can't do it today. And you keep postponing. Maybe you feel like you've tried everything. I want you to hear me clearly. You are not hopeless, and your past attempts were not wasted. They gave you information. So maybe the plan was too aggressive, and so you could not keep up. Maybe it did not fit your schedule, and so you need to go back to the drawing table. Maybe you were not eating enough protein, and so you were hungry all the time. And maybe you were not sleeping enough, and that threw off your leptin and ghrelin hormones, your satiety and hunger hormones, and so you were not successful. Maybe stress eating was never addressed. Maybe your medications were working against you. For some of us who are on medications, maybe you have untreated sleep apnea, which is making it difficult for you to lose weight. Or maybe you have insulin resistance that is not being addressed. Maybe you were trying to do it alone and you felt alone and tired. Maybe the plan did not fit your culture, your budget, your family, or your real life. This is not failure. This is data. So instead of asking, why do I always fail? Ask a better question. What was missing from that plan which made it not to work for me? Was medical evaluation missing? Because, hey, if you have insulin resistance, weight loss is going to be difficult for you. Was accountability missing? Maybe because you didn't have somebody you were checking in with. Was follow up missing? Was sleep missing? Was stress management missing? Was strength training missing in that journey? Was meal structure missing? Not knowing how to design your plate. We already talked about this in one of our series. Was support missing? This is how we learn. And let me say this gently. Shame does not produce long term health. Shame does not produce long term health. And shame will not allow you to ask for help and get help. A meta analysis of self compassion and health behavior found that self compassion was positively associated with physical health and health promoting behavior. So, in simple language, people who often do better when they stop attacking themselves and start supporting themselves with honesty and compassion, they succeed. So be honest with yourself, but do not be cruel. Don't be cruel to yourself. Don't over criticize yourself. You do not need to feel shame. You need structure. You need support. You need a plan that fits your life. And you need to start again. And today can be that day. You need to start not with drama, but with wisdom. And so we have discussed the roadmap to help you get to the destination. The destination is building long term health, and the roadmap is all those things that we talked about, simple habits, all right, which we can use to build our health in layers. All right. You cannot change everything at once and do not even attempt it because this is why people fail. All right. So here's the plan. Week one, pick one habit, just one. Choose the habit that feels the most realistic right now. It could be a 10 to 20 minutes walk and be consistent with it. It could be protein at breakfast, water before coffee, bedtime 30 minutes earlier than you've been doing, checking your blood pressure 1 to 2 times a week. It doesn't even have to be every day and then you're going crazy over that. Stopping foods 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. I want you to pick one. Okay? Week 2 to 3, make that habit reliable. Do not add 5 things immediately. Do one thing at a time and track it and repeat it. Make it normal. Health is not built by excitement, health is built by repetition, consistency. After you've become successful with the first habit, stack a second one. Once you're stable with the first one, add a second one. Once you're stable with the second one, add a third one. You know, second one could be water before coffee or a 10 minutes walk after dinner. It could be after I brush my teeth at night, I put my phone away. After church on Sunday, I plan my meals for the week. Things that are simple, sustainable, very important. Okay? You can connect a new habit to something that you're already doing. And very importantly, add accountability. Find one person who is vested in your health, who you can work with, who you can check in with, who can check in on you. Very important. Someone who is not going to be judgmental, somebody who's not going to judge you. Find that person. Your health journey should not be a silent and lonely one. When you have an accountability partner, it makes it even more fun. And so we've spoken a lot tonight. I want to close. We've talked about all the practical things that you need to do. And I want to say, I want to leave you inspired. Inspiration is good, but action is better. So tonight, I want you to choose one habit that you're going to do for the next 7 days. Not five, not 10, one. And then keep building more and more and more and more. Thank you so very much. Excuse me. So, I don't know if you will have any questions. I hope I have been able to encourage somebody tonight as we close this series on why are so many people sick today. I want you to remember many chronic diseases they build quietly, but health can also be built quietly, one thing at a time. One walk, one meal, one glass of water, one better bedtime, one better blood pressure, follow up with your doctor's appointment, one honest conversation with yourself, one small promise kept. These things may look small, but they are not small when they are repeated over time. So your future health is being shaped by the current pattern. And the beautiful thing is, you can change the pattern. You can start where you are and you can build a lifestyle that supports your body. The goal is to reduce your risk of chronic conditions, become stronger, become more consistent, identify why you failed before, begin again, and work on yourself. If this video has helped you, please, I want you to like it. I want you to share it with someone who needs encouragement. And I want you to subscribe so you do not miss the next teaching. And I want you to remember, what is that one habit that you are committing to this week? And I want you to start working on it. I'm Dr. Lubmi Balaji. This is Primrose Wellness, educating minds and transforming health. Take care of yourself. Build wisely. Build wisely. Start small and stay consistent. I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much, everyone, for tonight. I know we spent, a while tonight. This is because this is the last episode in this series. I'm going to see if we have any questions. I'm going to take some questions. I'm happy to take questions. I'm going to go to the chat now and say, please drop your questions, drop your comments. Thank you. I know I am already seeing a whole bunch of um, comments here. Thank you, everyone. I really do appreciate you for joining. Let me see. All right. Thank you, everyone. I see a whole lot of you here. Thank you. Thank you for your amazing comments. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I do not see any questions here. Thank you for all the comments. Please don't forget, like, share this with somebody that you love that needs to hear this. If it has been a blessing to you, thank you so very much. I truly appreciate you all. Have an amazing evening.